Welcome back to World Bike 55. Today, we are taking a close look at a motorcycle that carries one of Yamaha's most recognizable classic names, the legendary XS 650. But this is not simply a history lesson. We are imagining what a modern 2027 Yamaha XS 650 revival could look like if Yamaha decided to bring this iconic name back for a new generation of riders. The original XS 650 became famous for its simple engineering, beautiful proportions, strong twin-cylinder character, and timeless design. A modern version could combine that classic personality with the technology, safety, comfort, and efficiency expected from a motorcycle in 2027. Before we get into the details, it is important to clarify that Yamaha has not officially announced the production 2027 XS 650 at the time of this review. Therefore, the specifications, equipment, and estimated price discussed in this video should be considered an informed concept and expectation rather than confirmed factory specifications. With that said, let's imagine what a modern XS 650 could bring to the road. The first thing that would make the 2027 Yamaha XS 650 special is its design. Yamaha would have an incredible opportunity to take inspiration from the original motorcycle without simply copying it. The classic XS 650 had a clean, mechanical appearance, and that character could become the foundation for a modern retro motorcycle. Imagine a beautifully sculpted fuel tank with smooth lines, a traditional round headlight, a compact rear section, a comfortable-looking flat or slightly stepped seat, and a minimal side panel design. Instead of filling every part of the motorcycle with aggressive bodywork, the modern XS 650 could celebrate simplicity. That could be one of its biggest advantages in a market filled with highly styled motorcycles. The XS 650 name represents an era when motorcycles were straightforward, mechanical, and visually honest. A 2027 version could preserve that feeling while adding modern details. At the front, a round LED headlight would fit perfectly with the retro theme. LED lighting could also be used for the indicators and rear lamp, giving the motorcycle a classic appearance during the day and modern visibility at night. The instrument cluster could combine traditional styling with a modern digital display. Yamaha could even create a round TFT screen that visually resembles an old-fashioned analog gauge while providing modern information such as speed, fuel level, riding range, engine temperature, gear position, trip information, and electronic riding settings. The fuel tank would likely become one of the visual highlights. A classic Yamaha-style tank with subtle badges could give the motorcycle a premium appearance without making it look overly complicated. The tank could feature a carefully sculpted shape that flows naturally toward the seat and engine. And then there is the engine, which would be the heart of the entire experience. The original XS 650 was powered by an air-cooled parallel twin engine, and that configuration became an important part of its personality. If Yamaha wanted to revive the nameplate, an updated twin-cylinder engine would make a lot of sense. The exact engine configuration has not been confirmed because there is no official 2027 XS 650 production specification, but a modern parallel twin engine in the approximate 650cc class would fit the spirit of the name extremely well. A modern engine could provide a balance between usable torque, manageable power, fuel efficiency, and enjoyable everyday performance. Instead of chasing extreme horsepower numbers, the XS 650 should focus on character. That is exactly what could make this motorcycle different. The rider does not necessarily need 100 or 120 horsepower from a classic-style motorcycle. What matters is how the engine responds when the throttle is opened, how smoothly it pulls through the middle of the rev range, and how satisfying it feels during normal riding. A 650cc class twin could deliver strong low and mid-range performance while remaining approachable for experienced riders who want something relaxed and enjoyable. Acceleration would likely be more than sufficient for city riding, highway cruising, and weekend trips. The sound would also be important. A modern XS 650 should have a deep and distinctive twin-cylinder exhaust note, while still meeting modern noise and emissions requirements. Yamaha could use a modern exhaust system designed to preserve some of that mechanical character without sacrificing environmental standards. For riders who appreciate classic motorcycles, engine character can be just as important as horsepower. The ideal XS 650 would feel alive underneath the rider without becoming difficult to manage. The transmission would likely be a conventional 6-speed manual gearbox. A 6-speed setup would allow the motorcycle to remain comfortable around town while also keeping engine speed controlled during highway cruising. A modern assistant slipper clutch could also make sense. It would reduce clutch effort and provide smoother downshifts, especially during spirited riding. Depending on how Yamaha positioned the motorcycle, ride-by-wire throttle technology could also be possible. That would open the door to different riding modes. A standard road mode could provide predictable throttle response, while a more relaxed mode could make the bike smoother in traffic or on wet roads. However, Yamaha would need to be careful not to overload the motorcycle with electronics. One of the strengths of a classic-style bike is its simplicity. That philosophy could continue with the chassis. A steel frame with a classic silhouette could provide the right combination of strength and visual appeal. The frame would need to be designed around modern performance and safety requirements, but Yamaha could still make it look visually similar to a traditional motorcycle frame. Suspension would be another important area. At the front, a modern telescopic fork could provide a comfortable ride while keeping the classic appearance. A premium version could potentially use adjustable suspension, allowing riders to fine-tune the motorcycle for different riding conditions. At the rear, twin shock absorbers would be particularly appropriate for a retro XS 650. Twin rear shocks would preserve the visual connection with classic motorcycles, while modern internal technology could provide much better damping and comfort than older designs. The wheel design would also contribute significantly to the overall appearance. Depending on Yamaha's approach, the motorcycle could use classic spoke wheels or modern alloy wheels with the retro-inspired pattern. Spoke wheels would create a particularly authentic look, while alloy wheels could provide easier maintenance and potentially better compatibility with tubeless tires. Tire dimensions would likely be selected to balance stability and agility rather than create an extreme sport bike feel. The goal would be predictable handling, good grip, and comfortable everyday riding. Braking performance would naturally be much more advanced than on the original XS 650. A modern front disc brake with the quality caliper and the rear disc brake could provide strong and predictable stopping power. ABS would be an essential modern safety feature, especially for a motorcycle intended for road use. Depending on the market and trim level, Yamaha could potentially offer additional electronic assistance, but ABS would be one of the most important modern upgrades. Now let's talk about comfort.